AI could be the productivity backbone of the decade, but if most capital just circulates among a few giants, investing in one another and then buying each other's services, are we paying for the future or inflating a closed loop capital cycle? Today, I'll unpack how the money flows, lock in a few crucial numbers on power, infrastructure, and real usage, and lay out two opposing scenarios for AI. 20 years ago, the internet survived the bubble, but many companies didn't. The question now is, has real usage truly arrived, or are we prepaying for tomorrow with today's money? Context and debate. Big technologies usually trace the same curve: skepticism, investment boom, inflated valuations, correction, steadier growth. Railways in the 19th century, electricity in the early 20th, and the internet in the late 1990s all left the same lesson. The technology can endure for a long time, but many of the companies building it can fail quickly. Today's debate splits in two: dot-com 2.0, where revenues are amplified by financial engineering, versus inevitable infrastructure build-out, where heavy capex now lays the runway for demand later. The truth is likely in the middle. A long-run transformation is real, but short-run valuations can outrun real measurable utility. Timeline of recent capital infra milestones. 4 milestones show how intense the infrastructure commitments have become. Sa Oinidawan, September 10, 2025, an OpenAI Oracle arrangement reported around 300 by over 5 years, among the largest cloud agreements ever. 2, Nav 3/4 2025, OpenAI signs a 7-year, 38 bob deal with AWS, expanding beyond a single cloud. 3, March 27, 2024, Amazon completes a 4B investment in Anthropic, tying Claude closely into AWS Bedrock. 4, throughout 2025, Microsoft and OpenAI continue emphasizing large-scale Azure consumption for both products and model training as their relationship evolves. The central question: do tens to hundreds of billions in commitments reflect actual usage today, or mainly capacity reserved for tomorrow? Closed loop money mechanism. Here's the simple picture. Company A invests in company B, and B in return consumes A's infrastructure for years under a long-term contract. Strategically, that locks in a durable partnership and shares risk. A clear example: Amazon's 4B into Anthropic, alongside Anthropic standardizing on AWS Bedrock. This simultaneously anchors AWS revenue and increases Claude's availability to enterprise customers. On the OpenAI side, a 7-year 38B agreement with AWS is another way of locking in compute via multi-year deals. This does not imply wrongdoing. It's a capital and infrastructure alliance. But history offers a cautionary mirror. When revenues depend too heavily on partner financing rather than in-customer demand, they can turn fragile the moment expectations shift. Key numbers anchor the facts. 1. Power for data centers could more than double its 1945 TW by 2030, with AI-optimized facilities driving an increase of over 4x, a foundational cost pressure for any AI business model. 2. The 7-year 38B OpenAI AWS agreement signals that massive compute needs are being locked in via multi-year commitments. 3. The 300B 5-year OpenAI Oracle arrangement underscores the build the infrastructure first thesis. 4. Amazon's completed 4B into Anthropic plus Bedrock integration exemplifies the capital consumption pattern. 5. Meanwhile, about 74% of companies still struggle to achieve and scale value from AI, evidence of a gap between investment and cash generating impact. Two-sided view: bull versus bear. Bull case. Estimates suggest AI could add $4.4 trillion in annual value if deployed in the right use cases, and potentially lift global GDP meaningfully over the next decade, largely through productivity gains. Under this view, heavy capex today is a reasonable prepayment for a long runway. Bear case. Most companies still haven't created scalable value, while power and infrastructure costs are climbing faster than many expected. Cash flows and valuations may be running years ahead of real usage. Middle ground. The long-term potential is credible, but in the near term, you need disciplined deployment. Only fund use cases with clear KPIs and disciplined finance aligning infrastructure spend with actual usage. US Link, short case study. Bring it stateside, a mid-sized US retailer pilots 3 AI use cases over 90 days. She won customer chat support, 2 summarizing feedback to improve products, and 3 generating bulk SKU descriptions. The biggest gains show up in time per session and automation rate. Revenue per order barely moves because shipping costs, last mile logistics, and promotion mechanics remain the real bottlenecks. The lesson: AI delivers when it's wired into existing processes and data, not sprayed everywhere. On cost, the team caps spend to true usage, sets a monthly stop loss, and only scales after KPIs clear thresholds. Instead of oversized multi-year commitments, they follow small pilot, standardized prompts and workflow, scale up. At the macro level, power costs, cloud egress ingress fees, and interest rate moves can flow through to US cloud bills, so teams should budget for periodic infrastructure inflation. Bottom line, right use case, right internal data, right cost controls. That's how to turn AI into real value here. Risks and common misconceptions. Misconception 1: if the tech wins, companies building it will automatically win. Historically, tech can endure while companies die if growth leans on partner financing over end customer demand. Misconception 2: burn cash to grab share. Profits will come later. True only if real usage scales in line with spend and infrastructure costs don't overshoot. Misconception 3: superior tech is an unbreakable moat. As models converge in quality, advantage shifts to proprietary data, processes, ecosystems, and experience, which many startups underestimate. Finally, beware locking the middle layer, chip model cloud. Not necessarily illegal, but it can raise switching costs and shrink the competitive field. Actionable conclusion plus teaser: a crisp 12-month framework. Start with clear KPIs, hours saved, complaint reduction, conversion lift. And 2, 90-day pilot with a hard budget cap. 3, prioritize internal data and process automation before GPU heavy dreams. 4, optimize infra by real usage. Avoid oversized commitments. 5, leverage existing integrations to shorten time to value. For investing, read the financial statements: net revenue, gross margin, capex, and power costs. That's where the truth lives. My take: AI isn't a bubble in the long run, but short-run valuations can swing hard if real usage doesn't catch up to infrastructure commitments. Next episode: 7 AI use cases with positive ROI for Vietnamese businesses, with KPI templates you can apply this week. If this breakdown of money flows and KPIs helped, subscribe and open the playlist Tech Economics and AI Valuation. I update numbers and real cases monthly so you don't miss big moves. Jump to the next video for the 7 positive RO use cases I promised. Want the KPI template? It's in the description and the pinned comment.